WUSM Hattiesburg. It's time for the Southern Miss Student Media Weekly Wrap Up. The Southern Miss Student Media Weekly Wrap Up is a look at the events Southern Miss Student Media covered throughout the week and the events Southern Miss Student Media is working on for next week.
My name is Clara Hendricks, and I am the executive student producer and director for SM2 and today I'll be hosting the show. So I'm just going to go over some stories we covered in our last episode, which if you haven't seen, you should definitely hop on over to our YouTube channel and check it out and watch it. The anchors did amazing, talent did amazing this past show. Anyway, some of the stories we covered this past show, apparently the study abroad program has made a program specifically for chemistry majors, and that will be taking off during the January intersession. So if you're a chemistry major and you want to plan to study abroad and you want something that'll directly help you with your degree, you should definitely go check that out with the study abroad office. Also, we recapped Ed Young's appearance for the honors forum that happened pretty sure it was the week before last. So we recapped that. You can go watch that. One of our MMJs, Suvi Lama, got an amazing package about that. Huh?
We gotta go to commercial real quick.
Okay. My bad.
You're good. Sorry, I forgot to tell you. That was just the introduction.
Well, y'all should have got me.
Join Southern Miss Radio on Sunday mornings from 6 a.m. till noon for Sunday Brunch. You'll get jazz and swing music from artists as wide-ranging as Bix Beiderbecke to Brad Meldau, from Dippermouth himself to Esperanza Spalding. But relax, you don't need to know anything about the music to enjoy it. It's a great way to wake up on Sunday morning. Sunday Brunch from 6 a.m. until noon on Southern Miss Radio.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Southern Miss Radio is home to Don Rodney Radio's Rhythm and Blues Show.
WUSM, Southern Miss Radio, 88.5, Don Rodney Radio's Rhythm and Blues Show, another summertime song. I love this.
Don Rodney Radio spotlights the composers and performers of Mississippi Delta blues, such as Charlie Patton, Mississippi John Hurt, Robert Johnson, and more. Here on Southern Miss Radio, Sundays from noon until 2.
I messed up now.
You're fine.
My name? Question mark. Hi everybody. My name is Clara Hendricks, and I am the executive student director and producer at SM2. I will be your host today, and basically I'm just going to be going over what we covered this past episode. One of our stories that was brought to us by our multimedia journalist, Nisha Nika. I don't know her last name. It's basically a story about how Study Abroad made a program specific to chemistry majors. So if you're a chemistry major and you're interested in study abroad and want something that will directly impact your major, definitely check that out with the Study Abroad office and watch our episode. She does a really good job of covering that. Another story that we covered this past episode is the Ed Young Honors Forum that happened a few weeks ago. It was an amazing experience. We got some interviews of some audience members who were there, very informative. We also have our weather report for this week and the next couple of days. That was anchored by our lovely Rachel Brox. I love her. She's my girl. And then after that was a special trivia segment put together and produced by our lovely behind-the-scenes production team at SM2. It's really fun, just random trivia, getting to interview students on campus. It's really great to get out there and interact with other students. And then we had our flash news briefing, which was a little more on the somber side, just covering some harder topics during that for our local, state, and national news. Definitely go watch, check it out. It's important. And then we have our community calendar, and Hattiesburg is jam-packed with events this weekend, like especially on Saturday. A lot of live music is coming to town at different locations, and that's in like our third segment of the show, anchored by our lovely Emily Blue. She was amazing, did great. But yeah, she got all kinds of events, so if you're bored this weekend and you're looking for something to do, definitely check out that segment because it was packed. It was full of all kinds of events. And then in sports, we just recap things that happened this past week and upcoming events. I know this Sunday, I'm pretty sure our volleyball team is having a game. It may not be volleyball. It could be soccer. I'm sorry. But yeah, that is also full of information, recap stuff. If you didn't have the chance to go watch it yourself or you don't know where to get the information, definitely check out the episode. Plugging really hard right now. That segment was anchored by Devin. He did a great job. It was his first time anchoring for SMTV, and he did amazing. The energy was there. It was really, really great, really good. And then our last block, we had entertainment, and we covered a few movies planned to release later in the year. And that was really great, really cool. Release dates are also there for it. And then we also had a segment from Southern Miss Today that we recapped for the show. So we're going to commercial now.
For Southern Miss Student Media Center, I'm Subi Lama. Science journalist Ed Young came to Bennett Auditorium as part of the Honors Forum Speaker Series. Young is a former staff writer at The Atlantic and recipient of the Pulitzer Prize. During his forum presentation, Young discussed themes from his 2022 New York Times bestseller and Andrew Carnegie Medal-winning book, An Immense World: How Animal Senses Reveal the Hidden Realms Around Us. Here's what he had to say.
A chapter in the book about pain and how animals experience pain and how many of them experience, maybe if not exactly the same kind of sensation that we experience and describe as painful, then something akin to that. I think that is one of many axes that we should consider when thinking about issues like animal welfare, research, whether we eat animals or not. Right? These are complicated issues, and I'm not going to pretend or offer simple answers to any of them. The other piece of it that you asked about, our attitudes to the natural world, I think is a little bit more straightforward.
As the world continues to face global challenges that require scientific understanding, voices like Young's play a crucial role. SM2 Subi Lama.
Hey, and welcome back. So I recapped our episode from this past Thursday. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of information on this upcoming episode and some stories we might have on the show. We plan on covering the USM Special Collections. It's going to host an event to celebrate the 100th birthday of Will Campbell, so that's going to be interesting. Also, the USM Community Journalism Center here at College Hall. We have a special report regarding that, all the updates happening around that. We also have a Live at 5 coverage with one of my favorite people to work with, Bethel Miles, an amazing anchor. He just does amazing with that, so I'm excited to put that in the show and include that. He also brought us a story about updates regarding the golf club in Hattiesburg. I cannot remember which one specifically, but he also brought us a story about that, so if that's something you're interested in, definitely get ready for the next episode. Also, our sports, we're also going to have a sports recap for next show, and we'll do a special package regarding Rebecca Vega and her updates and things that she's doing for soccer. She's a soccer player here, and she's getting, I don't know if drafted is the right term, definitely not a sports person, but yeah. Also, the Lady Eagle assistant head coach, Barbara Ferris, is inducted into the Louisiana High School Sports Hall of Fame. We will have a story covering that as well for our next show. And that's all I have for our next show, but our anchors put in a lot of work. I put in a lot of work. Our production staff puts in a lot of work. So if you could just jump over to our YouTube channel and check those out. Definitely a lot of informational stuff, maybe stuff that you've missed. But yeah, that's all I have for you today. So, if you have any stories or want to reach out, you should definitely contact us through our email. Email us at sm2news@usm.edu. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, our social media pages. I know Carter Crow would be excited about that. He's our STRATCOM division head, and he works really, really hard for that stuff. So definitely go to our social medias and follow and keep up to date with that. And if you would like to advertise with SM2, reach out to Josh Wilson at joshua.wilson@usm.edu. And you can find these stories on our past episode and more stories in our prints and our past radio shows. But yeah, I think that's all I have for you today. Thank you for joining me and listening.
For Southern Miss Student Media, I'm Nishranika. Science, specifically chemistry, is not considered to be the most interesting topic by most students. Southern Miss seems to be trying to change that by starting a new study abroad program for chemistry. The University of Southern Miss is